Hi, and welcome back to Unravel and Uplift. We're here today again to talk about a topic, unravel it, and then uplift. So, today our topic is Maycember, the month that broke us.
Yeah, now I had never heard of Maycember. You educated me on Maycember.
So, a couple of years ago, I remember feeling like I was drowning in May, kind of similar to how I feel in December. And someone said to me, "Oh, have you seen the Holderness Family?" And I was like, "Well, I've seen the Holderness Family, but no, I haven't seen this." Googled it, and there's this amazing like parody song about what May offers that's similar to December in terms of the chaos and all of the things that we're overcommitting to, but without the seasonal fun added in. That it's just a lot of do and not so much kind of enjoyment.
Yeah, we will drop it here to see, so you can see what we're talking about
Yeah.
here. And once you told me about it, I looked it up and I'm like, oh, yes, May is like, you don't think about it, but even the anticipation building towards May
Yeah.
brings so much anxiety, and the calendar gets full and all the things that just are added extras to an already full month.
Well, it's just like all those expectations of, okay, like take this year, for example, my daughter's an eighth grader. So we don't just have one event. No, we have a yacht trip, which requires a dress. We have a graduation, which requires a dress. And we have a party that she has at the school that requires a dress. So in addition to just actually attending those events, which obviously I have to factor in taking time out of work to be there in the middle of the day, because that's what happens. I also need to spend the time trying to find these dresses with my daughter, trying to find shoes, trying to figure out all the logistical pieces that go with it. Plus, then you added things like finals if you've got a high schooler,
Graduations, open house, college prep.
teacher gifts,
Yeah.
like teacher gifts, all of the additional pieces,
Yeah.
as well as planning for your vacations or what you're going to do with your kids over those 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if
Signed up for summer camps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's everything. Sporting events.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think the expectations are real when we think about what our goals are as individuals, but what our family goals are.
Yeah.
So we'll unravel that a little bit later and talk about all those commitments we make.
And if I think about when my kids were younger, I had to very much think about what I was doing with them over the summer because I was continuing to work. And it's like, okay, we have these 12 weeks. What do they do? And obviously, when they were younger, we had the benefit of like a daycare, even though it was more kind of like scaled back hours. But there was that. Now they're teenagers and able to kind of please themselves a bit, but then they still have commitments of they need to be at this sports camp for school and they need to be doing ACT prep and all of this stuff. So and they need a job.
Right.
And of course, our role is to try and empower them, but obviously it's not always as simple as that.
Right.
We need them to play ball.
And aligning everybody's schedule.
Yeah.
Right. So you look at that calendar where you have a set 30-ish, how many days are in May? I don't know.
Yeah.
31.
Yeah, 31 days.
31 days in May,
Took
guys.
us a moment.
FYI, just so you can prepare yourself, but aligning everybody's schedule to say, okay, where is the day that we can do this together? Oh, we have to be here now.
Yeah.
Dividing and conquering. It's a lot.
And like we're talking about this like with the lens of having children, but I feel like even when you don't have kids, it's that gearing up to the season where you're doing the festivals.
Yeah.
You are enjoying the outdoor. You're maybe booking a vacation.
Right.
Like you're cramming all the stuff in with or without children.
Yeah, it's wedding season. Like all the things start happening when May kicks off.
Yeah.
It gets intense for
and
sure.
It is that pressure to fill those few weeks, and fill it with fun.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. Yeah. All the craziness of Christmas, right? Minus the eggnog.
Yeah. And I think
which is a shame.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think because you name it, it's almost like you normalize it.
Right.
And
that's what we're going to break down today.
Yeah.
So we've named it. We know what Maycember is now. And now we're going to talk to you about how to deal with it.
Yeah. Because it's exhausting. It really is. I'm even like exhausted at the thought of thinking about it.
I know. I can already start feeling the cortisol starting to build and like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that you have that spring break. Whether you're at home or away, you've got that spring break, which is a little bit of a lull, and it's come back and you're straight into it. It like hits you like,
Yeah.
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 Okay, so let's talk about why Maycember feels so intense.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the logistical overload,
Hmm.
right? Like, again, like aligning the schedules. How do we get from point A to point B? How do we cram it all in every week? Yeah, for sure. That's a big one.
Well, and then we have a holiday in there. So you have Memorial Day
Mhm.
weekend, which in theory should be a lovely introduction to the summer.
Yep.
Beaches are open, pools are open,
Yep.
people get together. But I feel like even that's become a busy weekend with weddings,
Hmm.
with
Grad parties.
graduations. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Barbecues,
yeah.
just all the things that people want to do over that weekend.
And the sporting events, I feel like it used to be
Well, the
kind of
tournaments.
sacred, but now it's become an opportunity to have
Yeah.
tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess secondary is the emotional overload.
Yeah.
So it's an end of a chapter.
Hmm.
Maybe you or have kids that are transitioning from one grade to the next
Yeah.
with those graduations. There's a lot of emotional baggage that comes in Maycember
Yeah.
where you have the highs, the lows, you're happy. There's again the new passages. And how do you maneuver with all of
Mhm.
those feelings?
Yeah. And then there's the performance pressure, the I want to finish strong. Like I'm always feeling like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm still present at work,
Yep.
but also like acknowledging that my kids are around a bit more. So it's like then striking that really healthy balance, isn't it? Between okay, and also wanting to decompress slightly as well. Like in my work, we have a summer Fridays, which is so nice from
Mm.
Memorial Day through till Labor Day. We get to finish work at 3 o'clock on a Friday. I'm so grateful for that during that
Those extra
time.
couple hours are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to finish that little bit earlier and start your weekend,
Hmm.
and obviously the weather is, there's longer, sunnier
Yep.
days. It just feels good,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, we talked about the anticipation of the commitments,
Hmm.
the summer camps, planning the vacation. And I think as women, especially, we again have those goals for ourselves,
Yeah.
but we also, our kids have expectations too.
Yeah.
Like, so and so wants to go to the beach.
Mhm.
So and so wants this. Can we fit in a college visit? How do we check all the boxes? Is everybody's needs satisfied and met? So there's just so much pressure that comes with the living within the month of May,
Yeah.
but then pre-staging the rest of your summer.
Well, and also I feel like, and I'm sure Nick's not just alone, my husband Nick, and it's nothing that he's doing wrong. It's just how it becomes a societal norm. But I know that he looks to me to fill the calendar for the social events. It's like
Mhm.
almost like, so what have we got going on? And it's like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I'm now doing that as well. And
Yeah.
then it's like the last minute hosting, which I love.
Mhm.
I love having friends over. I love the fact we're outside on the patio. But it comes with a burden.
Yeah.
I think probably a self-created burden because I
Oh,
think, oh,
100%.
everyone needs his food, everyone needs his
Yes.
drink. I'm sure people would be fine just rocking up and
Right.
just
All
being
the
there.
needs being met. Check all the
Yeah.
boxes. Yeah. We
Hmm.
definitely create our own monsters
Yeah.
within Maycember.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I always tell the kids, like, as soon as that last day of school is out, for us, it's about 82 days. And
Yeah.
that seems like such a long time.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you guys, 82 days. We're going to fit it all in. We're going to do the things. It's going to be great. And then for me personally, I have this anxiety of, okay, the summer, you're on cruise control and like summer, you're doing the things. And then 4th of July comes. And then as soon as we in the Midwest get through 4th of July, they break down the garden centers, which to me
Yeah.
is like the end of summer.
Yeah.
Then the spirals come out and the crayons,
Yeah.
and Target has all of the obnoxious things hanging from the ceiling. And I'm like, like, I can't even go
Yeah.
into Target without like feeling the anxiety because then I know that it's going to sweep it all away.
Yeah.
And then we're right back into the grind of the school year. And it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. I'm just like, what the hell?
I know.
Yeah.
Those 12 weeks really are so precious, aren't
Yeah,
they?
for sure. Yep. You got to
Yeah.
protect them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even this, like the signification of like the pool closing. I know my gym this year kept the outdoor pool open
Mhm.
because it was warmer. So they kept it open through till October. And it was actually really lovely because it was like, okay, we are not signifying the
Yes.
end of this. It
Yeah,
felt
but
like it was,
they haven't taken it all away.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it is like suddenly like, oh, okay, everyone's back to routine and normality, which
Yeah.
I appreciate as well.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, yeah, you want to kind of just eke out as much as you can from it,
Right. And,
especially because Maycember is so crazy.
right. And again, going back, how do you pull it all together and look polished and professional and not let that cortisol get the best of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's like this whole thing, isn't it, of us feeling like we have to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Bridgerton.
Yeah.
So it made me think, yes, I know, Bridgerton. I'm sure that's controversial for some. And I do watch it for lots of different reasons. But I was watching it and just looking at how even though Shondaland are trying to really kind of do a take on it and add modern factors into Victorian times, but it was making me think about how defined the male and female roles were
Mm-hmm.
back then and how that's still carried through. And as much as we keep evolving and advancing in the world so that there is more equality, those roles are still there. It's okay, the woman is there to birth a child so that they can keep the longevity of the name and have a heir to the
Right.
wealth, to
Yep.
the house, to all of that.
Yep. Pass it on.
Yeah,
Yep.
women are there to look dignified and act in a certain way and have decorum. And it's almost like different rules for men.
Mm-hmm.
They can go and do what they want. And okay, they might be called a name,
Right.
but nothing happens to them. There's no consequence of that. Whereas heaven forbid a woman does that.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking that, these established roles continue even now,
Yeah. Now.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I would say my husband is very good, at doing things around the house. We definitely parent equally. However, when it comes to event sign up, the calendar, all the things that need doing for different things like
Yes.
the bake sale or the tickets for something, it does.
Yeah. They're sort of along for the ride.
Mhm.
Like we make the schedule, we make the plan. They look at us to do that. And I mean, God forbid they step in front of that.
Yeah.
They're sort of damned if
Yeah.
you do, damned if you don't,
Yeah.
because like, no. You didn't look at the calendar.
Yeah.
We had something that weekend. We have dinner with so and so. We have to be here at 4.
Yeah.
And again, they're along for the ride.
They are. I mean, so I had all those 8 grade calendar things coming in and the Noah's pre-ACTs and so this weekend, like Nick has just had this barrage of calendar invites from
Right.
me. Oh, and summer camps. Summer
Yes.
camps opened up this week. So like sign him up for the high school
Yeah.
and that's right. Another check. But like the calendar invites, I'm sure Nick is just like, what the heck?
It's ping, ping, ping.
Yeah. But we have to get it in there and I feel like it's my job.
Yeah.
Which is like, who said
It's crazy.
that? No one told me it was my job.
Right. Yeah. But someone's got to do it. Otherwise it doesn't
Mhm.
get done. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I feel like just that pressure to be everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of everything.
Right. Yeah. So how do we protect that? This is where
Yeah.
Coach Claire comes into play. How
Yeah.
do we protect that?
So, I mean, we looked at some research from the American Psychological Association that shows women reporting higher stress levels than men during high demand periods, largely due to role stacking. I can't get my words out today. I apologize. So we think about it as like the work role, the parent role, the social coordinator role, the emotional support role, and then Maycember kind of stacks them on top of each other all at once. And so I was thinking about this week and how do we prevent that build up? How do we stop it? And it went back a little bit to Mel Robbins again,
Yeah.
and how she really encourages us, and she's not the only person out there, but people really encourage us to kind of let things happen without us having to be so involved.
Yes.
And it got me thinking, okay, what would happen if I didn't get a teacher gift?
Mm-hmm. Right. Or what would happen if you didn't make something from scratch and you bought the cupcakes from Costco? Pro tip.
What would happen if my daughter had to use a dress twice?
Right. I know. God forbid. Right. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things we can do to be more efficient, to
Mhm.
streamline and bring some method to that madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it will run away like a freight train if you try to check all those boxes
Yeah.
and set yourself up for an unattainable standard.
What happens if you feel like you are emotionally overloaded and exhausted and you say no to something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
And I think it's really thinking about actually, what do I want to be at? What do I want to prioritize? What are those things that can't give in essence,
Mm-hmm.
And then what are the things that can? And how important actually are they? And if we start to like almost prioritize them on a 1 to 10, with 1 being really important and 10 not, where do they make that cut?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we just have to be realistic about our day and our
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to know that if you don't make it to that grad party, send a card.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to protect your peace for
Yeah.
sure.
What also happens if we ask our other significant half or our children to actually help us, or other
Mhm.
people in your support,
Right.
what happens?
Yeah.
The saying is it takes a village.
Yes.
You know what, Jen, you mentioned something earlier as well about it not just being the significance of our time, but also the emotional factor that
Yes,
comes with some of these
for
things,
sure.
the beginnings and the ends. And I think I'm a big proponent of emotional intelligence and trying to make the time to really try and unpack those
Yeah.
feelings that you have. And I think I would say in Maycember or before,
Yeah.
trying to just really, be kind to yourself and allow you to have the feelings that come
Hmm.
with these big momentous moments
Yeah.
because it is real
Yeah.
and we need to give ourselves grace for that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a pregame strategy going into May is to realize that that is coming at you,
Yeah.
where it's that end of the new chapter or, and how you can prepare yourself for that so you don't maybe have that breakdown,
Yeah.
and you don't react to your feelings and project those feelings if you're not have your hands around those yet. So I think to pregame what Maycember means to you, because it's going to be a little bit wild.
Yeah.
How can you control that? How are you going to feel emotionally? And then how you may just want to sit in those moments for a little bit and cherish it because I've mentioned this before. I talk to you about it all the time in coaching where I get very anxious about time and how much
Yeah.
time we have. And so if you're sitting there in a moment, whether it's a wedding or a grad party or a festival, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this ends at 5, but we got to be somewhere else at 5:30, and your mind sort of starts racing. Like, just let yourself be still and enjoy that
Yeah.
moment for a second, and because it turns into this rat race.
There's a really good tool out in the universe that I refer to quite a lot in coaching, and I know some of my peers do as well. And it's really thinking about how there's 24 hours in your day.
Hmm.
And in those 24 hours, you already lose, say, 8 if you're lucky.
Right.
If you get a good 8 hour sleep, kudos to you
Yeah.
because I know not everyone does. But you take those 8 away and you're left with 16. So
Yes.
there's 16 hours in a day. If you're working, typically that's an 8 hour day.
Hmm.
So you're taking away those 8 hours. So you're left with 8 hours in
Right.
a day, 8 hours to do the things that you need to do and want to do. And maybe going into Maycember, thinking about each of those days with that eight
Yeah.
hours and what's negotiable and non negotiable can be a really good way for you to kind of manage your expectations and your exhaustion levels and just your
Yeah.
commitments.
And those 8 hours you have left, that's within a perfect plan. And
Yeah.
we know that life
Hmm.
is not perfect
Yeah.
and life throws you a curveball. If you can carve out those moments of peace
Yeah.
to, and, on the Huberman report, he'll talk about don't sacrifice your sleep. That's a non negotiable. Don't sacrifice being out in the sun for a little
Mhm.
bit, how that helps regulate your system and bring that cortisol down. Right. And for me, I always say that the one thing I can control in the day is my workout.
Yeah.
So I may not work out every day, but maybe it's just like walking the dog. But if I do get that workout in, even if it's a crappy workout, if I've blacked out that 30 to 45 minutes, that was on my terms. And it maybe wasn't the perfect workout, or, maybe I didn't lift as much, or I didn't go as far, I didn't run as fast,
Mhm.
but at least that was one variable I can control. And at the end of the day, if the rest of the schedule goes sideways, I can say, okay, at least I got that done.
Yeah.
So it's just finding those things that you can check those own boxes to say, okay, today wasn't a complete disaster. Because again, you put a lot of pressure on making those leftover 8 really count to fit it all in.
Yeah. Another thing is the good enough, that perfectionism.
Hmm.
I feel like so many of us, and I think men and women, I don't think this is just women. I feel like there is this perfectionism standard that we hold ourselves to that is unnecessary at
Yes.
times. I'm not going to say it's ridiculous because we all feel it. It's real. It's part of our society. But I think, Brené Brown often discusses perfectionism as armor. Um, and maybe May is not the month to wear that armor.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's okay to show that vulnerability a little and be like, hey, I'm not Superwoman or Superman.
Right. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
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 And I think there's a freedom with that amongst other
Mhm.
women where you're just like, look, here's the reality. I bought these cupcakes.
Yeah.
Or yes,
Yeah.
I know I wore this dress for the last event, but this is my
Yeah.
uniform. This is
Yeah.
my going to grad party uniform.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And giving
Simplify it.
yourself the grace for that, which
Hmm.
is hard. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard to give yourself the grace to not be perfect in this perfectionist world.
Right. Yeah, for sure. We put all that pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things you mentioned as well, Jen, was like this, the kind of the reset,
Yes.
taking 2 minutes, you
Yep.
know, when you think about those 8 hours in a day, what is 2 minutes?
Hmm. Yeah. Just to reset, take that breath. Listen to Unravel Uplift.
Yeah.
Right.
I know a little longer than 2 minutes, but I think we're worth it.
Yeah. Just a little. Hmm.
You know, but like you said, step outside,
Yeah.
drink the water,
Yep.
or even 60 seconds of silence in your car. You know, if you're dropping a kid
Yes.
somewhere, you know, or
Recline that seat back.
yeah, yeah, or going to get fuel, you know,
Yeah.
just any of those things, just take a minute.
Yeah. It does make a difference.
Hmm.
And then recognize that you're taking that minute to be like, okay, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my sanity.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really regulates your like neurological system as well.
Hmm.
You know, just that moment of just protection.
Yeah.
That's why these mindfulness apps are so important
Yes.
and popular, and journaling, you know, because it's all about taking that minute for
Mhm.
yourself.
Yeah. And if you can plan that into your day, again, in those 8 hours, say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then I'm going to take this little break to, to do something else and focus on myself or take that exhale moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super important.
I've got another note here, Jen, that during our busy seasons, don't try to maintain everything. So protect one anchor. And I really like this, the
Hmm.
anchor habit. So this could be something from a morning walk, strength training twice a week, Sunday planning session, a 10-minute quiet coffee ritual. That if you can have that consistency in one area, it will stabilize everything else. You know, so instead of picking 5 things, pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one for May. And that hopefully will then help you, you know, just kind of regulate.
Okay. So we unraveled a lot of Maycember.
Mm-hmm.
How do we tackle Maycember with intention? So instead of like surviving May,
Yeah.
how do we, and ask ourselves, how can we fit more in? How do we do more? Maybe we say, what can I drop without completely like collapsing?
I think that's the key, right? Is that we kind of alluded to a few things that you could do differently.
Hmm.
And I think that's the thing. It's like, let's know that Maycember is real. We've normalized it. It's there. We don't have to love it,
Yeah.
but it is real. And let's think about what we can do differently to help our mental state,
Yes.
to help us survive,
Yeah.
and to help us almost enjoy as well and be present. Because I think that's one thing, like you mentioned, that we often just skip through things
Hmm.
because we're like, oh, we've got to get this done.
Right.
Let's actually try and be present there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, like we said, let's buy something from the store instead of making it from scratch.
Right. Yeah. Again, Amazon is a gift. You can have
Mhm.
it in 2 days. You don't have to go to the store and walk around to find that perfect gift.
Saying we can't make it.
Yeah. Yep. Lower the bar.
Yeah.
Yep. Recycle your wear.
Mhm.
So in your closet, wear that dress again. Wear that same blazer. Do whatever. You don't have to have a new outfit for every occasion.
Protecting sleep.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you are not getting enough sleep, everything is gonna go awry.
Yeah.
So yeah, try to carve out that sleep.
Dry shampoo is my best friend.
Yes. Charger. Always have a charger. Hmm.
I feel like just carving out those few minutes for yourself
Yeah.
in the day, in those 8 hours that really are not 8 hours, but you know,
Yeah.
there's 8 hours there. Try and take a few minutes for yourself each day, or have that habit that
Yeah.
you just, it's your non-negotiable,
Hmm.
that non-negotiable for you,
Yeah.
just to help you deal with the chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. Pre-written thank you notes. That was a little hack that one of our neighbors, they had a grad party and they wrote all their thank yous in advance.
Yeah.
Like, and then you can, tweak them.
Let's face it, right? The world is not going to collapse
Hmm.
if you do something different and you don't bake the cupcakes from
Right.
scratch, you
Yeah.
know, or you say no to something. Make sure you say yes to the things you really want to go to. But
Yeah.
some of the things, unfortunately, you can't do it all,
Yeah.
you
Thanks,
know?
but no thanks.
Yeah.
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 So I think, today we have very much unraveled that whole premise of Maycember.
Hmm.
Thank you, Holderness family, for kind of naming it and acknowledging that it actually exists.
Yeah.
Because I think it was probably a feeling, an emotion, and an overwhelming state that lots of people felt in, but they couldn't actually kind of pinpoint what it was.
Hmm. Yeah.
The stacked roles, the
Yep.
emotional transitions, the belief that we can do it all
Yeah.
and more.
Yeah. And I think it's about, like you said, cutting those commitments, finding things that are most important, unravel that pressure, so then you don't have that whirlwind around you within the month of May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find that grace. Yeah.
Yeah. Choose a word and name it and tell someone.
Hmm.
Tell someone that word that's kind of going to be your mantra for May, okay? Because there is a lot of survival that goes into this for
For
sure, but
sure.
name it, share it. Decide that at the very least you're going to cut one commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. Just take one thing out of that week or that month, just to give yourself that breathing space.
And even if that's like a sporting event and maybe there's more than one person from your family that's going to it.
Hmm.
And okay, yes, you would love to see that person play their sport, but maybe allow someone else to go and you take a back seat so that you can actually carve out some time for you.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I know I've been trying to deploy is that do my son and daughter really need both myself and my husband there all the time when there's other things that need to be done?
Right.
Um, no, they're happy with just the one there. If we can both make it great, but
Yeah.
it's
The
also
divide and
okay.
conquer is
Hmm.
good. You don't have to always do everything together.
Yeah.
And if your spouse or significant other can tackle one and then you can do the other, that will help definitely free up that time.
And maybe you're fortunate enough to have another family member that would go instead of you. I know if my mum lived in this country, she'd be, I think, arguing with me to go and watch sporting events. So,
Right.
you know, delegate to someone else.
Hmm.
People like being asked to help out as well. I found that, even
Right.
though it's kind of hard to be vulnerable
Yes.
sometimes and ask someone to pick that thing up, people feel good about being asked.
Yeah. And don't give yourself the guilt. I think
Hmm.
that's the thing is like someone's like, oh, what I should be there for so and so's event. And like, they have how many games in a season?
Yeah.
They have so many. And again, they understand. They are willing to be like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Go do whatever else you need to do. And there'll be another game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think protect one anchor habit. I really like that anchor habit kind
Yes.
of wording. I think protect one of those and just keep
Hmm.
it. Just keep it as that's your thing.
Yeah.
That's your thing. It's going to make Maycember seem so much more easy to deal with because you're getting your, yourself fulfilled in some way.
Yeah, most certainly.
Take away that pressure.
Yeah.
I want to pop that pin,
Right.
like pop that pin and just in that balloon and just let it decompress.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And just to know that again, it's okay if it doesn't all get done.
Hmm.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right. People understand. And you need to understand that.
Darn perfectionism.
I know.
It's so hard and it's so real and it's around us.
Hmm.
And then uplift your peace.
Yeah.
Just have that moment where you can close the door for 2 minutes and just decompress
Yeah.
and breathe and just feel better about everything.
Yeah.
Reduce
Yeah.
those stress
Yeah. And
levels.
don't lose yourself
Yeah.
through all of it. Amongst the crazy, just don't lose yourself. I think that's important to be mindful of. Take that moment, like, what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I want to take away from May?
I, for one, would love to hear what each of you are going to do for
Hmm.
Maycember. I
Your
think,
survival skills, please send us
yeah,
your survival skills and we'll send those out to the community.
I feel like our community could really benefit from just having some suggestions, some ideas.
Life hacks.
Yeah, that accountability.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of why we're here is that sense of community and accountability building. So even if it's not a friend you tell us,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Help
tell
a
our
sister
community.
out. Yeah. Let's work together.
Yeah.
We can tackle this together for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Unravel and Uplift.
Yep. Yep.
We
May-
hope,
Oh,
yeah, sorry,
no.
go ahead.
No.
We hope our conversation about Maycember has been helpful. Please do check out the Holderness family video on this. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But very real.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah. And again, give yourself that grace and let you can let things slip and not feel like a failure. So please guard that.
And enjoy the summer. You know, I feel like it's a gift. It's
Hmm.
a real gift to have those 12 weeks where there isn't the structure and the schedule and the routine, and try to be present and enjoy it as much as possible. We know it's hard. It's a hard one to negotiate and to kind of get a balance on, but we'd love to hear how you do it
Yeah.
because we believe in you.
Yeah. So please follow us wherever you're listening to your podcasts, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Subscribe, send us feedback. We want to hear from you. And next time we will unravel something new and we'll uplift together.
Together.
Thanks.